name is Gilbert Ivy, and it is my pleasure as the 2017 chair of the Los Angeles County BizFed Institute to welcome you here this morning. This is our first NextUp Economic Forum of the year, the new administration's first 100 days. Yay, hey, first 100 days. While we're still about 1 week away from the actual 100-day date of April 29th, and it's kind of an arbitrary date, but that's the date that they're all shooting for, it has been an eventful start for the Trump administration, and we have more than enough to talk about and cover economics, social, and political fronts this morning. However, even with all the active developments happening, even more has been written or discussed regarding this administration. All around the water coolers, you read about it in the newspapers, you see it on social media, especially from Mr. Tweeter himself, the Tweeter-in-Chief. We do have to navigate all this information to figure out where we're going and how we're going to deal with these issues of the day. During the new administration's first 100 days, the 10th annual BizFed Pulse Poll, our own poll, went live and surveyed the business community on pressing issues affecting the economy and priorities to focus on. The BizFed Institute is a statewide initiative that complements BizFed, and we're fortunate to be able to leverage BizFed's alliance of 160 organizations representing 325,000 employers and 3 million employees to have a robust conversation and share intelligence broadly across the region. The Pulse poll reached a record-breaking 700 plus respondents this year. And our special unveiling today, you'll be the first to learn about intel gathered from this Pulse. And I want you to know we've used it in the past with the electeds, and this is the key that tells the electeds what's happening in their local economy, in their local neighborhood, and what is happening, what they need to concentrate on. So BizFed has played an important role in that, as well as all of the affiliated chambers and other businesses groups that belong to this. We've assembled a diverse group of experts and thought leaders from politics, business, academia, and media to offer us their insight into the first 100 days. The BizFed poll results in collectively what we should expect moving forward. Through these varying viewpoints, they'll guide us through sifting between rhetoric and reality, fake news and real news, opportunities and risk, and at the end of the day, determine some strategies and solutions to strengthen all fronts for a prosperous and sustainable economy. I do want to note, however, that while our Republican electeds are unable to be present this morning and be with us to engage, I assure you that we have actively invited legislators from across the board, jurisdiction and party, and you'll see in the program that we have balanced all of the viewpoints in this area. And I want you to know, as I mentioned to the news this morning, that what we're looking for in the business community is a reaching across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, independents and others. We all make America great. We all make America great, all of us. And our message to the president is make that reach across the aisle all over the country and make this country great. As he said, he wanted to make America great again. Well, then do your job, reach across the aisle, and let's see if we can make things work out for us. My editorial statement. We have a full program today, but before we dive in, I'd like to acknowledge the generous support of our event sponsors. Please join me in thanking AES Southland. Huge. Thank you. Thank you. Fellow board member Jennifer Didlow, and I believe we have Dahlia Gomez with us today. Thank you, AES. Thank you. Majestic Realty and my friend Fran Inman. There you go. Thank you, Fran. Thank you. Southern California Gas Company. Thank you to fellow advisory board member treasurer Andy Carrasco. Thank you, and his team. And Randy Witt Productions. Randy. Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you again for the important conversations for viewing post-forum. Thank you so much. Let's give all of our sponsors a round of applause. The BizFed Institute could not carry out this tradition of intelligent, inclusive, and impactful work without their contribution. We are also fortunate to have elected officials and representatives that will be joining us throughout the day, and you'll see them. A couple of them are here, which will be introduced shortly, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Also, I'd like to thank my fellow BizFed Institute Advisory Board members. Please stand, all of you from the BizFed Board who are present today. Oh, well, I'll stand, I represent myself. Hey, there we go, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want you to know the BizFed Board, Institute Board really worked very hard to bring this together for you today. And finally, during the forum, you'll see our social media handles for Facebook and Twitter, which is at BizFed Institute, and today's event, hashtag first 100 days, numeral 100. So engage with us online and start posting. To begin our first segment, it is my extreme honor to invite David Fleming, founding chair of BizFed and my mentor, to the podium. Dave will be introducing the speakers for the first 100 days segment. Okay. David.
Thanks, Gil. We will buy all your records as we leave. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Gil chaired BizFed last year, and as normally when you chair BizFed, each year that you follow is chair of the Institute. So we thank Gil for his service. I want to thank everybody for coming today. It's kind of an important thing. You know, it occurred to me we all have differing political viewpoints, and we look at the prism and see different things. But I think there are a couple of things we can all agree on. Number one, the so-called pundits were very wrong about this election. They laughed at Donald Trump. They're not laughing anymore. I can remember back, this karma dates me, I can remember back to the election in 1948. I was just a kid. But it was Dewey and Truman, and it was interesting because the Gallup poll had Dewey up by 12 points, and Truman won. Same thing kind of happened this time. So the pundits were wrong, and it's interesting when we go and take a look at what happened. The other thing I think we can all agree on is we live in a very dangerous world. North Korea, Iran, Syria, ISIS, the gangs, the warlords in Mexico, the drug lords. All of this pretends to be a very disturbing thing for all of us. And so in that kind of frame, it's interesting to look at the first 100 days for President Trump and what's going to happen in the next 100 or 200 or 300, both in the White House and in Congress, because it's going to affect all of us.